Peace, family. So, by the title of this video, you're probably thinking to yourself, you want to inquire some more. What's on my heart is to have a guide, through my actions, what I aspire to do, excuse the background noise, is to be a representation, be an example of what is possible. A lot of us suffer financially, and it gets worse as the economy in America here is, being further devalued and just destroyed. So we need to learn how to do for ourselves, and we need to learn how to create opportunities. So that way we're not subject to a 9 to 5, which doesn't pay us even enough to even be stable in an economy like this. Not unless you're working 3 to 5 or three 9 to 5s, and even then it's barely enough. So my goal is to have this series be a teachable moment for those that really do lack faith. I have had the mercy and blessing of experience a payout from Top Step, experiencing a winning trade from an options play that exceeded my expectations and my wildest dreams. And I've also have the privilege have had the privilege of having you know of having complete and utter losses that subjected and tormented my psyche so much that I ended up being um, mentally psychotic. And I'm not exaggerating when I say that. That was my official diagnosis as of 2022. Thankfully, I've healed from that. But if I suffer from that, our people, so many of our people, not just here in America, but all over the planet, suffer that. So I want this to be a teachable moment. I want this to really be a safe space for all of us to come to ease our mind, to vent whatever problems we have, and let it out. We don't need to bother this stuff up. The fact that you want, the fact that you clicked on this video means that you more than likely want to be with me on this journey for yourself, so that way you can turn $1 to a million, right? And I want my actions to say that I'm tired of trying to sell a course, even when I have the best of intentions for an audience for that course. The audience oftentimes doesn't even want to give it a chance, or they don't stay the course when they purchased it. They don't stay the course, and so they fall out, and then they just do their own thing, and then they come back years later talking about, man, I wonder what would have happened if you stayed the course. So I want this to be a teachable moment. I want this to be a bearing of witness to God, to what God can do when you just have the faith. You just have faith, man, and just exert your will towards it. Okay, I am at a point to where I I've done it. I've done everything except this. You feel me? And I know that it may sound like, what do you mean you've done everything? I've done everything. I've studied. I have my whiteboard. You can't see it right now. It's on my board, but I have notes on there just trying to find the missing piece. And if I could show you it, it would really be like, oh snap. If I could show you it, um, it it's all these notes that I have trying to figure out what's the missing piece of how to calculate all these trades and all this stuff and why is it. And if you see, I'm gonna take a picture of it through my iPhone, but I just had an epiphany through an experience that God allowed me to have, and the answer was faith, bro. Faith. That's it. And then, like, literally, like, because that, even though it sounds cliche, it answered all the mathematical problems and contradicting like equations in my brain. Like, oh, like literally, like, and I'm a mathematician, so if you're a trader, you understand. So you got to keep that in mind. So let's start off with, how is this going to look like? What is the process going to be? So the process, what it's going to be from, is how are we going to start, right? So the first, what we're going to do, what I'm going to do first is I'm going to purchase a Top Step account. All right. what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna purchase a Top Step account, but I'm not gonna do the what you call it, the what, because they have two for some reason. It's one where you can buy $40 and pay the activation fee after, and then the other one when you just pay the activation fee up front. We're gonna do that one, the where you just pay the activation fee up front, right? We're gonna do that one because that saves us time and money actually, which is crazy, right? So we're gonna do that. We're gonna do that, and then we are going to, after that, once we pass it, we're gonna work towards getting the payout. We're gonna get the payout, right? And then we're going to. I had this calculated in my head, but we're really going to use Top Step not as the means of developing the main bread, but it's really gonna be the means of building up our bread from what I would consider $1 to, the a million. But that's not going to be the first thing. What I mean really by that is we're going to use Top Step because it costs like $80 to go through all that stuff to where we can make bread from the prop firm. Once we get like, I'm still trying to calculate it in my mind how much I want before I transition from futures into options. That's really the main thing. Options is going to be what's going to amplify our bread the most. It's not going to be futures. Not for this. Not for this mathematically. So, but we got to get the bread though, right? And the way how options works, you can build the bread up from something as little as $1. It's possible. I've seen it, but it can get it's a bit um unpredictable sometimes. It can be a little bit unpredictable sometimes, at least for me, when I start from a small amount, and it can get like very troubling. So it's just easier for me to have a substantial large amount. That way, I have more options with what I want to do. So this is basically, I know I've been trying to explain this. So let me explain it as simple as possible. How are we gonna get the bread? We're gonna purchase a Top Step account. We're gonna trade through our Top Step account to get a couple $100. I mean, just at first, right? To build up our capital. Then once we acquire enough capital from Top Step, we're gonna transfer that bread over to an options account. And once you do that, once we do that, we're going to be documenting the trades from the options, and then from there, that's really where we're gonna stay. We're gonna keep doing the futures too, but that's really just for recreation past a certain point, because the main means of getting the bread is gonna be from our options trades. All right, so that's what we're gonna be doing, right? And then on top of that, we're gonna also be putting bread to the side in long-term investments, which I plan on putting in gold and silver, because I see value in it even long term. I know it's going up right now, and people may be like, oh, it's getting ready to go down, which it probably will be, but I know long term, gold is not going anywhere. It's a means of currency. So, yeah, that's what we're gonna do. So, this is what this process is gonna be like. Um, but like I said, we're gonna start from $1, right? So I'm gonna right now, literally, we're gonna start from that. So what we're gonna do is we're going to we're gonna find a way to get, what is it, $80 to purchase that Top Step account. That way we can do what we need to do, right? So that's what we're gonna do. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna network with some people right now, try to sell a few products, digital products. Um, and by digital products, I mean legit digital products. Yeah, that's teaching you something. Digital product really just means like something of value that you can purchase digitally. I don't know why. I was trying to get into the digital thing, you know what I mean? Or market affiliation, whatever you call it. But it's like a pyramid scheme for some people. Like they'll sell you a digital product, and the digital product is them teaching you how to sell a digital product, and then they tell you, like, it's weird, but no, what I'm gonna be doing is I'm gonna be networking, trying to sell some I have an ebook. I'm gonna try to sell that, get some bread, get the 80, and then then once I do that, then we're gonna do part two, which is the process of um, trading through Top Step. Then after that, so on and so forth, which is gonna be options. And that from that, it's gonna be interesting. Well, you're gonna see it. You're gonna see a lot at that point. So yeah, yeah. Let's do it, you guys. Let's do it. Beginning of the year, I think it's interesting that I felt like making this. So let's do it. I don't have fancy software. Don't have a lot of fancy stuff. This PC really is really being a warrior right now because um it's not in the best condition even for me to even be making videos like this and trying to edit it for it to be appealing in such a manner. But we're gonna work with that. And it's really just gonna add to the story. It's gonna really add on to the elimination of your excuses. If I can do it, you can do it. So yeah.